Tonight on Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup, we head deep into the canyons of New Mexico to visit Geronimo Trail Ranch. And this off-the-grid ranch offers some of the most breathtaking horseback riding locations in the U.S. So don't move. It all starts right now. Welcome to Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup. This week, we're in southern New Mexico at Geronimo Trail Ranch. Surrounded by 3 million acres of Gila National Forest, this ranch is deeply tucked away in the Black Range Mountains, hidden from the outside world. There is no traffic in the distance or power lines overhead. In fact, there is no power here at all. Only a single generator that runs only a few hours a day. Evidence of modern man is virtually absent. With the exception of thousand-year-old cliff dwellings, there's no sign of human life anywhere. Instead, we have miles of ponderosa pine, wondrous views of the mountains, a direct connection to human history, and the peaceful sound of absolutely nothing. With just 4 cabins on this entire ranch, owners Maris and Seth Stout run this place with a single focus, horseback riding. By taking only small groups, they offer their guests a very personal and intimate experience. In fact, this place is like no other ranch I've ever visited, ever. So this is like a 4-man deal, like you and your husband, Seth, and then you have 2 other people helping you out, Fred in the kitchen, yep, and 1 wrangler.
Yep, that's it.
What's his name again?
Will.
Will. I was going to guess Will. I didn't want to get it wrong. So 4 people handling all of this, keep it together. And the thing that I think is very cool and unique about this is it's very remote. You don't have neighbors for 13 miles.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tough to get here, but once you get here, you're like, okay, you're in this little paradise.
Right.
You don't have anybody in your business. Yeah. And you only have 4 cabins, yeah. So it's very intimate.
Exactly.
And every night, every breakfast, every lunch, you spend together, which is really, really unique. And you get to really know your guests.
Right. Yeah, that's what we were looking for when we bought a ranch. Is we wanted to have that small situation where we could get to know people and what they wanted from their experience here, and then have the ability to adjust to what they wanted throughout the course of the week, and be the ones out there riding with them and getting to do the fun stuff as well. So.
It's raining now, so it should take us a few hours to get into the canyon today. And we'll likely clear up. So I did want to ask you, are there hot springs that you ever take your guests to, or maybe they could go to, since you say this is, fed by hot springs water, and the water is a little bit on the warmer side?
It's actually just warm springs out here.
Springs.
Yeah. But that makes it really nice for playing in the creek, like on picnic rides and wading, and it's just the perfect temperature for basically any time of year. If the day's nice enough to get in the water, then we get in the water and play. Those warm summer days, it's perfect to cool you down, and yep, it's just beautiful. Probably 75 degrees temperature.
Are we going to do that?
We might, yeah.
Because I like to build dams.
All right.
Really, any direction you go offers breathtaking scenery and hours of riding through gorgeous and ever-changing landscape, as well as plenty of saddle time to get to know each other. So did you always want to own a dude ranch?
So it all started when I was a teenager and we went to a guest ranch in Colorado for vacation and fell in love with doing it, me and my mom and dad, and ended up going back for a week vacation for 5 summers in a row. So that's probably where the dream of being a cowgirl really started.
What ranch was that?
That was Rainbow Trout Ranch.
I love Rainbow Trout! Oh, of course!
Yep.
Fortunately, this valley is lush, with green flatlands that follow creeks and streams for hundreds of miles. So it's easy on the horses and guests, and lets you focus on the scenery. We're headed to the canyon and we're gonna see pictographs. What are we gonna see? Some pictures of graphs.
Pictographs.
Oh, pictograph, it's so easy to say.
Yep.
Can you say mostly the pictographs are in red? I'm never
Yeah.
gonna say it right.
The Mimbres people would have used the red rocks that you'll see around this area to make the color for the paint for their pictographs. And they would actually mixed it with urine and then maybe a little bit of sap, plant juices, a little bit of water, and that's how they would have made their paint. But I suspect that that's one reason the color is held for so well for 1,000 years, something to do with the chemistry of that.
When we come back, we're going to head deeper into the past and explore primitive dwellings that date back over 1,000 years. So don't move. We'll be right back. When you visit Geronimo Trail Ranch in the Black Range Mountains of New Mexico, you take more than a horseback ride into the hills. You take a personal journey into the past.
So over here we have evidence of tin mining that happened in this canyon in the 1930s and 1940s. You can see there's a mound here, which was probably to an entrance to a mine. You can
I see.
And then you have some leftovers from the mining process, perhaps a chute there that was used in processing. There's some more caves and some other history as we go along here as well. So, yeah.
I'm eager to check it out.
Yeah.
The Mimbres people hunted and farmed these floodlands around 1000 AD, and their culture is well known for unique black-on-white pottery. Very valuable stuff today. But not everything out here goes that far back. A lot can happen in 1,000 years, and evidence of human civilization all through time still remains tucked away in the river valley. Even just 100 years ago, sheep herders from Spain came through this area to work and make their way into the Sierra Nevadas, then eventually northward into Idaho.
So up here you'll see a place where you have the rocks stacked up and the wood, and you see no mud in between the stones, so that is a clue that that's not a 1,000-year-old Mimbres cliff dwelling. That was actually built by Basque people. They passed through this area with herds of sheep, probably had a contract with the sheep ranchers to move the sheep from one place to another, and found this beautiful canyon on their way, and probably stayed here for a little while because it was a beautiful, beautiful protected area with plenty of grass and water.
Yeah.
Everything they needed right here for a short stay.
There are thousands of caves and cutouts in these mountains, naturally the best shelter in the river valley. I can only imagine the stories they have to tell.
So these were painted by the Mimbres people, and so this would be from 1100 to 1150 when they were in the cliff dwellings. And we have some ideas what they may be. This all goes together.
Okay.
That looks like a figure with a big belly to me, so perhaps a birth and a life cycle. And then if you look at some of the books on rock art, these two over here look a lot like pictures of medicine bags or medicine pouches. Maybe this was an area that had a special purpose. If that's depicting a woman giving birth, and those are medicine pouches, maybe this is where you came to see the medicine man. Or maybe this was where the women came to give birth. The archaeologist had another idea that this area would have been, this wall, this surface at this angle would have been chosen for a reason, which would have actually been best viewed by sitting down. So maybe it was a teaching area for their children. And he also said if you were to put a fire underneath the images, in the smoke and the flickering light from the fire, the images would appear to move.
Oh, really?
That fascinates me. It's like ancient TV. So up here you can see where the Basque people drilled these holes into the rock surface.
What do you think they did that for?
Level, they would have stuck poles in those. There's 3 there.
Okay.
And then 4 more up here, all at the same level. They would have stuck sticks or poles in there and then made an awning for their shelter here.
Okay, yeah. And they're perfect poles.
Yep. So the Basque people, that was only 100 years ago, so they would have had steel and other tools that they would have brought with them that would have made it much easier for them to do that.
I'm eager to go across the way to that big
we'll
one.
Go down here and go across and show you some more cool stuff along the way.
Some of these dwellings are more elaborate than others. There's evidence of larger families and close-knit communities. This is a house.
Yes, indeed.
Was that the bed?
Yep.
Was that there?
Yes. So this has been like this for over 100 years with the things that you can see here, which
I like that they brought a little bit of modern in here with the elements, the rocks.
Yeah.
And just stacked it. And like, obviously that's a fireplace. That's fantastic.
Yep. The Basque people would have built that fireplace. This would have been their tabletop, which would have sat up on the table ends there originally.
Oops. Didn't mean to put my foot on it. Oh yeah, I see that.
Yep, that would have been the table. And then you have a bed frame, which again they would have piled with plant material and sheepskins. And they even had a place to hang their lantern.
Wow.
Wedged a stick in there with a wire to hang a lantern up there to light their cave. Or hang their hat. There you go.
Well, because he can't leave it on the bed.
No.
That's bad luck. Oh,
Yep.
wow.
So yeah, with the fireplace that the Basque built, I suspect that more of the smoke would have gone out. So that would have been really smart. And maybe they were even here in the winter because there's a lot of rocks that have fallen out on the outside, so I suspect that was stacked all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And that would have made a really nice shelter in any kind of weather. It would have been cooler in the summer in here, warmer in the winter. I could have put a sheepskin over the doorway and hold up here in cold weather, you know?
And you sure are protected in here.
Yeah. And because this cave set more into the ground, it would have stayed a more constant temperature.
What a rare and spiritual piece of human history. Before we head back, I want to stop for a quick splash of water. These crystal clear warm springs are so inviting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Yep. You're up in the mountains and you think it's going to be ice cold.
Oh yeah,
but
what a
yeah,
perfect place for them to bathe.
Yep.
These
probably
people.
about 75 degrees. It's beautiful.
Maris takes this opportunity to show me how to make my own pictograph, just for future reference, of course.
You just stick your rock in the water and then find a smooth rock to rub it on and make your own pictograph.
Here's one. This is pretty smooth. Here's a smoother spot. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Get some color to come off there.
Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup. I'm gonna be here a minute. When we come back, we'll go for a ride into Shoot 'em Back Canyon, have a picnic lunch, and take a swim. Right here on Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup. There are endless, untold stories in the hills of Black Range Mountains in New Mexico, and some were told so often they became local legend. This is kind of a cool little overhang.
Yeah.
So this is what you call your half-day ride?
Yep, we takes about 2 hours to go up here and back. A little bit of an adventure coming up into this canyon as it gets narrower and narrower.
So what would you call this ride?
This is called Shoot 'em Again Canyon.
Shoot 'em Again Canyon. Why is that?
Well, there's a story about two guys hunting up here.
Okay.
And they were hunting a mountain lion and shot the mountain lion but didn't kill it.
Oh man.
And so then it was really mad. And the one guy yelled to the other, "Shoot him again!"
Yeah.
So kind of a local legend.
The half-day ride is the shortest ride they offer. After all, Gila National Wilderness is so vast and long, you could literally ride for days and days and still never find a highway. Back at the range, the chef is grilling up some beautiful steaks while we take the horses and put them to bed.
It was a 70th birthday surprise this week, Western riding. So, no, it's been super, been fabulous. Seth and Maris have looked after us brilliantly, taught us how to ride. And every day we've been out on a fabulous trail ride. We've been through canyons and up on ridges, and we've scrambled up hillsides and skidded down the other side, and no, we've had a really absolutely fabulous time. Yeah, it's a great place.
Besides me and the crew, there are only 2 other guests here at the ranch. This couple from London is enjoying their very first trip to a dude ranch. What a great place to have your very first visit. Today, we are taking a 4-hour horseback ride through Taylor Creek Canyon. There are no roads, only trails, and that means no vehicles. You can only get here by horse or on foot. So we're about to go down to Taylor Creek, and we're gonna go as far as where Taylor Creek and Beaver Creek Canyon meet up. So this should be interesting. That was kind of a mouthful. All right, let's go. Come on, Stetson. Stetson don't want to go. He knows this ride. He's like, this is a long one, Mama. Even my crew has to ride in today, which means a lot of shooting from horseback. And trust me, this isn't easy.
Oh God, you're taking me right through the branches, buddy.
I have 100% confidence in these guys. This is not our first rodeo. This narrow gorge with 300 feet of sheer granite walls towering above us on either side, it is so breathtaking, the cameras can't even do it justice. It's actually hard to put into words. This is one of the most beautiful rides I think we've been on. And we've been on really a lot of beautiful rides. It's amazing that there's like natural watercress just growing right in here.
This is a very special place. We're lucky to be able to explore and experience this canyon. We always say, don't forget to look up.
Maris and Seth know so much about the history and vegetation of this canyon. Even the geology and mining history is fascinating and of some special interest to Seth.
As we ride through these canyons, these interesting geological formations are caused by millions of years ago. There's a mountain, Black Mountain, which we pointed out the other day, and it's a dormant volcano, and it had massive eruptions. So these twists and swirls and curves are caused by shifts and massive uplifts and different twists and turns from those volcanic eruptions. Amazing geology through here. There's a lot of learning, a lot of history, and it's a great place to disconnect, unplug, spend quality time with friends and family, and just have some fun.
Well, we finally reached the confluence of Taylor Creek and Beaver Creek. Here it turns into East Fork of the Gila River, and it goes on for miles.
You can see how we're coming down between two creeks here. We have Beaver Creek on our right and Taylor Creek on our left, and where they meet down there, it becomes the East Fork of the Gila River. And there's a couple of neat pieces of history about this area. The first is that Geronimo was born near the headwaters of the Gila River. And the other neat piece of history is that back before the Gadsden Purchase, which happened in 1854, if you were standing south of where the Gila River starts, you would have been in Mexico. The U.S. purchased 30,000 square miles from Mexico for the price of $10 million. That sounds like a lot of money to me in 1854. Yes, but they did it so that they could put the Southern Transcontinental Railroad down through this area. But prior to 1854, if you were standing south of there, you would have been in Mexico. Pretty amazing.
Now we're turning upstream to follow Beaver Creek to our picnic destination. And just in time, I'm starving. When we come back, we'll have some lunch, explore the river valley, and get serenaded with a canyon classic echoing through the hills. Stay where you are. We'll be right back.
We've got a nice stump up here we'll use for dismounting.
Now it's time for a picnic lunch. We hitch up the horses to the nearest tree, pick a comfy spot to relax and have some delicious chicken wraps, and just take a load off for a while. Got one for Debbie. It's me. Celery. I like that. It's gonna have one taste, Maris. Looks like even the ants are having a little bite. Though the horse is really doing all the work, riding all day through this terrain is exhausting. It really works your muscles, and if you aren't used to it, it can kick your butt.
Amazing place.
I guess it's a good thing we have this warm, soothing, endless flow of crystal clear mountain water to enjoy. I was surprised how warm it really was.
By the way, the water's perfect. Feels awesome. Come on in, it's nice.
pretty nice.
Feels great.
It's a good temperature. Oh!
There we go.
Yeah, she went right under.
Well,
I don't really need to go under, do I?
Feels good.
For Maris, this is the best part of her week. She loves dunking herself into the water fully clothed so she can stay nice and cool for the ride home. You can see why the people would settle here. Because you have this beautiful water, you have the fresh watercress, which, you know, you could eat any day. You've got a place to bathe. I mean, this is warm. Do you think it's warm all year round? It is.
Yeah, you'll see on a cold winter morning, you'll see steam rising up off the lake.
How beautiful. She's a real sweetheart. The smile on her face and the laughter in her heart shows the love for this life that not many people have. It's a treasure to know that the person who takes care of this place loves it like no one else could. So I've just spent the last few days here in New Mexico at Geronimo Trails with these people, and I have had such an amazing, relaxing time. When I heard it was just horseback riding, I thought, okay, I'm going to be sore if it's just horseback riding. But the horseback riding is not just hard horseback riding. It's really taking you from one place to another and showing you some of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. We're in the water. We've been in very, very narrow rock canyons in water going through Taylor Lake. I mean, it's unbelievable. What I've seen in the last couple days, I feel like I'm blessed. I'm probably one of the only ones in the world who have seen this place, and it's amazing. It takes a little bit to get here, but there's nobody around. It's just you, your family, and the great outdoors. It is such an amazing slice of heaven here. I was pleasantly surprised by what a meaningful experience this really was. Now we're going to begin our 4-hour journey back to the ranch. And Maris takes advantage of the acoustics to say goodbye to this beautiful canyon in a proper cowgirl way.
Once more, totin' my old 44, where you sleep out every night, where the only law is right. I'm back in the saddle again. Whoopee-tie-yi-yo, rockin' to and fro, back in the saddle again. Whoopee-tie-yi-yi, I go my way, I'm back in the saddle again.
Each time I wrap up another amazing week at a dude ranch, I feel so blessed to have these incredible memories, the sights, the sounds, the laughter, the experience, and the adventure of all of it. Maris and Seth are doing this thing right. Each ranch offers their own unique experience, but only here was I truly living a life as an American pioneer. It's difficult, but with no electricity or phones to bother you, no distractions of modern life, just the gentle hum of the wind in the trees, birds singing a soft melody, and the reverence of experiencing the earth as our ancestors did. It is absolute magic. Well, that's it for us. And as always, thanks for coming along for the ride. Be sure to hop on next time, and we'll do it all over again on Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup.